The psychology of motivation refers to the study of the underlying psychological factors that drive and influence behavior, specifically in terms of the reasons why people engage in certain activities, goals, or behaviors. This field of psychology focuses on understanding the processes by which individuals are motivated to pursue certain goals, as well as the factors that influence the intensity and persistence of that motivation. Psychologists who study motivation seek to understand the various factors that influence behavior, including biological, social, and cognitive factors. They examine how needs, desires, and goals interact with individual beliefs, values, and attitudes to create the motivation for action. This can include examining topics such as intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, the impact of rewards and punishments, and the role of personality traits in shaping motivational tendencies. Overall, the psychology of motivation is a diverse and complex field that seeks to understand the complex interplay between internal and external factors that drive behavior and decision-making. One famous historical example related to the psychology of motivation is the story of Phineas Gage, a railroad construction foreman in the 19th century. In 1848, Gage was working on a railroad construction crew in Vermont when a large iron rod accidentally penetrated his skull, causing severe brain damage. Despite the severity of his injury, Gage survived and was able to walk and talk, but his personality and behavior were drastically altered. Prior to the accident, he was known as a responsible and hard-working foreman, but after the injury, he became impulsive, irresponsible, and lacked motivation to complete tasks. This case became famous in the field of psychology as it demonstrated how damage to specific regions of the brain can drastically alter personality and motivation. Specifically, Gage's injury damaged the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions such as decision-making, planning, and motivation. Phineas Gage's case was crucial in shaping the understanding of how the brain affects behavior and motivation. It was one of the earliest examples of the importance of the prefrontal cortex in regulating motivation and decision-making, and it inspired further research into the complex neurological processes underlying human behavior. Set specific, challenging goals. Having clear, specific goals that are challenging yet attainable is a great way to motivate yourself. Make sure to break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable steps. Use positive reinforcement. Reward yourself for achieving your goals or making progress towards them. Positive reinforcement can help to strengthen your motivation and create a positive feedback loop. Focus on intrinsic motivation. Try to cultivate internal motivation by focusing on why a particular goal is important to you personally, rather than relying solely on external rewards or pressure. Build a growth mindset. Embrace a growth mindset by viewing failures as opportunities for learning and improvement. This can help to keep you motivated and persistent in the face of setbacks. Take breaks and practice self-care. Don't forget to take breaks and practice self-care to avoid burnout. Resting and recharging can help to improve your motivation and productivity in the long run. Remember, motivation is complex and individual, so it's important to experiment and find what works best for you. These tips are just a starting point, and there are many other strategies and techniques to explore in the psychology of motivation.